Ayman Khan here for Seconds Out with a man who knows a thing or two about cruiserweight, Johnny Nelson. Johnny, sir, how you doing?
I'm all right, thank you very much. I'm good. It's nice to see Lawrence Okoli back in action.
Jumping straight into Lawrence Okoli, look, might be a few things away from being the complete package, a pay-per-view star potentially, but the biggest criticism about him is he's got to get the entertainment side right. Do you feel the link-up with Sugar Hill will tick that box?
Yes, I do. Well, he's left Shane McGuigan and he's now moved on to someone that's going to bring that little bit more of something about him out. I think it will work. We won't see that for 2 or 3 fights down the line. And Lawrence is not the finished article. Lawrence is a fighter that he's very unorthodox and his style is not appreciated at the moment. Neither was Tyson Fury's originally, remember. Tyson Fury's turned into a nice, cold, calculated counter-puncher. Powerful counter-puncher where you're knocking him out, sitting on his shots. Lawrence, those little tweaks will make a massive difference to Lawrence, where you'll go to watching boxing and you know you're expecting a knockout. So timing is everything.
Who do you see at cruiserweight being his biggest challenge? You got the likes of Jai Patai, Arsene Gilmore, CBS.
So of course, I'd say Richard Riakpo. That's a good shout. But you know the secret one you've got to look out for. Badou Jack. Badou Jack's just beaten McCarble. Badou Jack's the most experienced out of all of them. The problem is he's more shot worn than all of them. So the pace of the cruiserweights is slowed down to suit him down to the ground. But you getting close to letting him box you, he'll outbox a lot of them. But these guys are younger, they're bigger, they're more powerful. So he's the one they've got to keep an eye on, because he's the one that's got the ability, the depth and ability. But Richard Riakpo and Lawrence has proven it. Lawrence has proven I'm a champion. Richard Riakpo, Chris Bill and Smith, these guys are saying, you know what, check us out, we're here, we're hunters. Keep an eye on us. So everybody's here, everybody's dangerous. Everybody's in a position where they can make a massive difference.
Fraser Clark, look, throwing some fire there, feels like he's got a point to prove this weekend.
Without a doubt. And again, Fraser Clark, most of these big names, heavyweight names that we know domestically on the world scene, Fraser Clark sparred with them, if not boxed them in the amateurs. Remember, this guy's been an amateur forever and a day. He's turned pro now, and he knows what he's capable of doing. He just needs the opportunity, that adjustment to the professional ranks. So we might, or people might overlook Fraser. But Fraser's now chomping at the bit, and he's calling people out saying, yo, let's do this. You're talking about Fabio Ward, he beat me. Really? So again, it's just he needs his opportunity.
Johnny, anyone else in the undercard that takes your eye this weekend?
I'm trying to think. Barnsley, Connor, I think Callum. I think this guy, 10-0, knocked 8 of them out. Yeah, powerful, dangerous. And I think you've got to. What's up, G? You good? You've got to keep an eye on him. Watch him. And that's it. So I think apart from that, it'd be a good shout.
Jumping into some heavyweight talk, look, the biggest thing in boxing right now people are talking about is Fury Usyk being off. Look, it seemed like from the outset, setting the table here for you, Frank Warren said, look, this is the easiest fight to make at 50-50. We've now drawn to 70-30, lots of negotiation back and forth. The fight's now off. A shame for boxing.
It's a shame, and never say never. I think Tyson Fury has now realised that I can push it, but only so far, because this man's willing to walk away, which he has done. And Tyson Fury's got almost everything he wanted. 70-30 split, phenomenal. No rematch, a match clause, perfect. Whatever else has been, whatever other straw was put on the camel's back to break it, broke it. And I think he's just learned the lesson to think, you know what? No, I'm not the end of the rainbow, because the people are looking to go elsewhere. Now Oleksandr Usyk is that fight to say, I've given you everything I want. I'm going to give you now, and there's no more. So we'll see. We'll see where Tyson Fury goes next. In regards to he wants an opponent that's going to capture the public's imagination. Could be Andy Ruiz. Would we want to see Wilder again? Of course, we'll watch it. But what's it proving? You've beaten this man 3 times, two officially. Anthony Joshua, the talks there. I think people now are. They won't believe it until it's a done deal. And I think on Anthony Joshua's part, I won't do that for a couple of fights down the line. So it's a case where everybody goes.
This split issue, or like the public conversation, is very much a this era thing. Johnny, in your time, did you ever have this problem? Was this something that's maybe stopped you unifying when you were active?
I must admit, I did want to unify, and the problem was every promoter's got their own agenda, so they're going to take the fight down a certain path. The heavyweights are in an amazing position to unify. It's a historic position to unify, and the ones at the top of the tree, one seems to want to do it, and one doesn't. That's what it looks like. And remember, I've said Tyson Fury beats Oleksandr Usyk. So I'm not Tyson bashing. I said he beats him. So it sounds like he don't believe that. By the way these negotiations have fallen on its ass.
Interestingly, Alex Krasik spoke to Danny Flex of SecondsOut and of IFL, and he said that, look, he's receiving 3 times less his purse than he would anti-Joshua, which begs the question, is Tyson Fury the draw that he believes is? He's maybe not selling the pay-per-views. Is that part of the problem too?
Well, clearly not. Clearly not, because Usyk against, I don't know, Wilder. Usyk against, and remember, this is a Ukrainian that's now basing himself here in the UK, and putting bums on seats. That's a massive ask, and he's done really well with it. So there are fights out there because Tyson Fury's proved who he is, what he can do. There's a young kid come along trying to steal his thunder, and unfortunately, it's fallen by the wayside. So again, we've seen him in peaks and troughs. It can happen, and someone else will come along, and someone else will put bums on seats. That's part of the game.
You've always been an advocate for fighters getting as much money as possible, but this now opens the door for the Saudis to come back in and the fight be taken away from Wembley and it being happening over there.
Which is a shame. But again, you're going to watch it on TV. If you're fortunate enough to have the finances to fly over there and watch it, you'll do it. It's just the downside of it. That's the downside of our sport, but you're going to watch it. And again, I will never begrudge a fighter making as much money out of this game as possible, because it's a lonely life when you've walked away from it.
You mentioned what could be in the horizon for either fighter. Look, if you had it your way, who would you like to see Tyson Fury in against? If it's not Usyk and the other one, Usyk, who would you like to see him in against?
Andy Ruiz. Good fight. I think give him that option. For Usyk, what would I put him with? A bit curious, I'd say Deontay Wilder. These are fights that you think, shit. And we've seen him in a mix, and then it's a good measuring stick as well.
Usyk or Wilder, who do you favour?
Usyk. Wilder is the biggest puncher, the most fearsome puncher I've ever seen. But when it comes to skill, I think Usyk is far too sharp, too smart, too on it, too complete.
For Fury, Char seems to keep coming in and out of the shadows. Would you want to see Fury and Char?
What they're talking about it's going to happen. If he's up popping in and out, he's there just in case something big doesn't come along. So don't be surprised if that's his next fight.
Moving on to another topic, that being Simon Jordan and Eddie Hearn. Did that conversation do anything in any way to sway your opinion on Conor Benn's path to clear his name?
No. And Simon Jordan, I commend him on his interviewing skills with Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn, I commend him on actually going into the fire, the lion's den, to do the interview and be in the firing line and answer the questions, because he knows he was coming up against a phenomenal opponent in Simon Jordan that was going to really put him to task. I think Eddie kind of agreed and said maybe I should, say to Conor in a roundabout way, clear your name first. It does you a favour and it does me a favour. But Eddie, what I've seen from it is Eddie, if he's with you, he's got your back. If he's not with you, he can be mean. But if you're one of his fighters and he's on your side, he's on your side. And that's kind of what you want. Simon Jordan, he wouldn't let it go, wouldn't let him off the hook. Again, rated. I'm quite sure Simon Jordan was privy to a lot more damning information that he probably let out in his interview or his conversation. But I think it was a pretty good all around. It was riveting, man.
It's a difficult position always. We've got to cover boxing, so potentially if Conor Benn does fight again, we have to watch it, we have to cover it. But should he fight again before he clears his name?
Well, again, he should, but will he? Will that be the case? I don't think it will. I think Eddie's a businessman. If he can get his fighter paid, get him in a big fight elsewhere, that's not his problem. He's just doing his job.
There's a man here, Liam Smith, who was potentially on track to take on Chris Eubank Jr. rematch. It now seems like that might be fading away, and Conor Benn might be taking on Chris Eubank Jr. Over in Abu Dhabi. A shame if that happens from Liam Smith's perspective, and boxer too.
It is a shame, but that's not Liam Smith's problem. And realistically, when Eubank decided to go for the rematch, I thought, why? What difference is it going to make? Same thing's going to happen again. He got obliterated. So I think Eubank has gone the way that will suit him. A fight that he could win, a fight that he could get paid a hell of a lot of money for. If he went to box Liam again and got turned over again, would he still be able to make as much money against Conor? And if he fights Conor, win or lose, he can still box Liam again, because people might be still interested. Liam won, so why is he concerned about what Eubank's doing? Just move on.
Well, from the point of view, look, I won't put words in your mouth, but when you hear a fighter say, look, I want a rematch, I want to avenge my loss, and then they don't do it, you kind of think, hey, come on, you should be doing that.
Are you talking about Chris? Yeah, so that's talk is cheap. I mean, look, he got creased, man. He got turned over. And so it's not through a lucky punch. He got turned over. So you've got to kid in Conor and tell yourself every reason why the fight didn't go your way. But in reality, Liam turned him over. So what is going to change? So unless it's up a higher weight, maybe then I'd do it. But if the conditions are exactly the same, I don't understand why he would do it anyway. As soon as I heard, I'm like, why would you do that all over again? So he's gone down the line of a better opportunity in regards to popularity, payday, and everything. That's the right thing to do.
Final few questions for me. The last point on the Eddie Hearn and Simon Jordan discourse. There's the back and forth, the sniping that happens sometimes when fighters leave Eddie Hearn. Joshua Buatsi being someone who's faced it, as has Lawrence Okoli. But Liam Smith hasn't. Why do you think there's the difference between sometimes Eddie Hearn does have those shots and sometimes they go back and forth between fighters?
Well, that's what I'm saying. If Eddie's got your back, he's got your back. If he hasn't, he hasn't. And if you're one of our fighters and he hasn't got your back, you're going to be pissed off. And so as far as Lawrence is concerned, Joshua Buatsi is concerned, that's what they feel. And that's just, they're expressing themselves. They're taking care of their own business, which they should do, which I like. You see Lawrence come up on stage now. I saw Joshua Buatsi the other day, and the way he took ownership of himself and his own business and his career, that was it. I thought, I can see that. I get that. I like that. So I get it.
Eddie Hearn now returns to Sky with DAZN. They've got a new Sky channel. Ramps up the competition with Boxer as he returns there. A strategic move or one of necessity, you feel, Johnny?
Well, it's on the Sky platform, so Sky still get paid. And in regards to Eddie's, you're on a platform where you've got to get people to turn over to that platform and talk about it. So the more we talk about it, we're helping him and pointing people in that direction. But still, the problem is it's got to get people to know where it is. Sky is Sky has so many sports, and they can cross reference and say this fight's coming on this day, that day. The channel, whatever channel it's on, unless there's eyes on it and people say it's happening, then that's where the struggles are going to be. And that's why Sky is so successful. That's why they're top of the tree in what they're doing.
You've maintained that your friend Kell Brook, you want to see him sail off into the sunset. Seems like the sunset has to wait. Kell Brook is back in training. If he returns, you want to see him back on the Sky platform. Maybe Liam Smith, maybe someone else.
No, don't be fooled by it. Kell is finding himself a bit of stability in his life and a bit of comfort at this moment in time. And he said, if you want to come and talk to me, we'll talk to me. If you can talk me into it, maybe you can talk him into it. But right now, he's a happy young man. And that, to me, is all that's important.